What's going on, guys? This is Brian with Biked Entertainment and another great episode of Brian's Beverage Corner. And today we're changing up just a little bit. In the past, I've done nothing but beer. And in the first episode we ever did, I mentioned that we were going to do mixed drinks and other, beverage options besides just beer. It's just something that we ran with. It was good. People liked it. And finally, we're going to change it up. And before I get started on what we're doing today, I would like to say and promote that we will be, after this week, changing where we're going to be doing the videos. Corey, Eric, and I are actually making another channel called the Hop Sauce on Instagram, and it's Hop Sauce on YouTube. So starting next week, all of your Saucy Sundays with Corey, all your Brian's Beverage Corners with me, whether it be beer. I may do, depending on how you guys like this, I may do like a mixed drink show or like a more like mixology show and talk more about that in a separate show. But all our little bit like live shows, food related shows, kind of like life related shows, not video games, will all be on the new channel called Hop Sauce. So without further ado, let's get into what we're doing today. I am proud to say that I'm changing the game up, like I said. And we're going to do two classic mixed drinks, two that I've learned how to make. So I'm hoping I don't fuck them up while I'm here. And so the first one we're going to do is a little bit easier, is a Moscow Mule. So it takes vodka. So I have Naja Cobra vodka. You can use any vodka. It doesn't have to be this brand. It's just the one brand I have in the house right now. But it's a very, very simple drink. And the reason why I chose these two, so we're doing a Moscow Mule, which is vodka, and we're doing a dark and stormy, which is rum. And the reason why I chose these two, because A, they're both classic beverages. B, they're super easy to make, and you can kind of put your own twist on them in any way, shape, or form. And they have the same ingredients minus the main liquor the main spirit you're using, which is ginger beer and lime juice. Now for the first one, we're going to do the Moscow Mule. It's super simple. All you really need, so a Moscow Mule usually is served in a copper mug on ice. I don't have my copper mug. It's in New Jersey, so I'm going to use a regular like rocks glass. And then to do it right, Pedro, calm down. You also need a spoon, A, for mixing, and B, for the dark and stormy. I'll show you why later. So for the first one, you're gonna want to take 2 ounces of vodka. Move this out of the way. Move the camera. All right. So you don't want too much. You might put a little more in there. You don't want, when it comes to making mixed drinks, you don't want the alcohol to, kind of overdo like the drink itself. You want to enjoy it for what it's supposed to taste like, not for how much alcohol it has in it. And then basically, to your pleasure, this is the only thing I could say you don't have to, you can use as much or as little as you want, is the lime juice. Then with your spoon. So because this is not carbonated, you can shake it with a shaker on ice if you want to. I prefer the stirring method when it comes to my Moscow Mules. It's a little bit more, a little bit easier for me. I think it tastes better, to be honest. And the reason why I'm not doing any of this stuff on ice is because everything just came out of the fridge, so it's already cold. But the Moscow Mule's been around for a long time. In the early 20th century, in Little Moscow in New York, there was a man who owned a ginger beer brand. It wasn't Gosling's. It was a different one. I think it was like a Cock and Bull ginger beer. He owned like a bar as well in the Chatham Hotel. And basically his bartender had to get rid of supplies. So he had to figure out what to get rid of. And no one was drinking clear spirits at the time. And So he put this and the ginger beer together, and it wound up becoming a hit. And that's where the Moscow Mule came from. But they say Smirnoff was like a big contributor to the Moscow Mule also, because they were trying to promote their brand in America, and no one wanted to drink clear spirits, so they had to make a drink that people wanted to would want in order to promote the product. So you could start for as little or as long as you want, depending on how much you want to get the lime juice mixed in with the vodka. Then you just take your ginger beer and basically just, there we go. So it should come out this like hazy. I mean, it basically has the ginger beer color, but it's going to come out this hazy color right here. Like I said, this is served on ice in a copper mug, usually garnished with a lime. I don't have fresh lime on me, or else I would use it. But that right there is just how to make a classic one. Now, there are many different variations. You can buy pre-made ones. I don't recommend it. I recommend just making your own, because you can buy cheap vodka if you don't want to buy expensive stuff. So the Nausea, if you can find this one, I like it. Was $25. You can get Smirnoff for like $18, $19. And then you can buy, I actually got as a gift for Christmas, you can get Moscow Mule sets, which will give you all different like flavors. Like they had like a fruit punch one. They had like an Irish mule, a Mexican mule, like all the different styles of like Moscow mules in one package. And it was all, and like the only difference was like, instead of using lime juice, you just put in the syrup that they give you. So the Dark and Stormy, on the other hand, you will not find pre-made anywhere like in the stores. And like I said, the only difference is the rum, and the process is just slightly different. So for me, because lime juice is not the original ingredient that goes with the Dark and Stormy, and it's actually bitters that went with this. I don't prefer the bitters, but if you do, like, that's the classic way to make it. I was taught to do with a little bit of lime juice to add a little sweetness to it. But for this one's a little different. You have to stir it because the ginger beer goes in first. So you put your ginger beer in, you get your lime juice. Give it a stir. Like I said, this is all, like, both of these drinks should be served on ice. Depending on where you go, a Dark and Stormy will either be served in a rocks glass like this, or in a highball glass, which is a taller version of this and a little bit thinner. So the story behind the Dark and Stormy is that it was originally a collaboration project with Gosling's and Gosling's Black Seal rum, which is their dark rum, and Barrett's ginger beer. Well, that partnership didn't last that long, and then Gosling's made their own ginger beer and decided to trademark the drink for them, because they basically were the original people that made it. When it comes to what you choose for your ginger beer, that's personal preference. I prefer Gosling's. I think just what I started with, and I've had other ones. Some of them are too sweet. Some of them some people use like a spiced ginger beer. I don't like those. They kind of burn a little too much. But the cool thing with Dark and Stormies is there's actually two ways to make them. I'm going to attempt to do it the right way, which is, once again, you're going to need your spoon and you're going to need black rum. And I don't have Gosling's black rum here. I have that in New Jersey as well. So I bought Kraken. I like it better. I like Kraken a lot. So you take your spoon, and without a speed pour, this is going to be super difficult, but we're going to try it anyway. You're going to want to lightly pour the rum on the top of the spoon, just like this. And you're going to want to layer that drink. It's the same thing. It's 2 ounces. So you want a little more than a shot on top. I actually got that pretty well. So this is actually, so obviously it'd be on ice, but that's how it's actually supposed to look. I didn't put a lot of rum in there just because this is a higher proof rum, but this is how it's supposed to look. So just to compare the two, obviously the mule should be a lot lighter because it's using a clear spirit as opposed to a dark spirit. And the original way to serve a dark and stormy is the layered way with the rum on top and everything else on the bottom. The lime juice does create more of a thickness, as much as the ginger is already thick. It adds a little bit more thickness to it, a little bit more extra, just so that it's easier to layer on top. So let's try these out. I'm going to do the Moscow Mule first, just because you want to always go light to dark. It's the same thing with wine. You always want to do whites before reds. That's really good. I like that. This is also garnished with a lime. Some people put mint on either or. It all depends on, that's a personal preference. Some bartenders do it, some don't. It depends on where you are. Resorts might put a mint sprig or like some kind of leaf on it just to give it an extra presentation, but it's not a necessary component when making this drink. So now we'll go with the dark and stormy. So like I said, this is the classic way to do it. So you're going to taste all the rum right away because it's on top. That's really good. I like that too. The other way to do it, I'm going to move this back a little bit. So the other way to do it is basically just doing it like the Moscow Mule, and that's just literally just taking your spoon or whatever you're using to stir, a straw, whatever you want to use, and literally just mixing it in, which is going to make it basically the whole drink come out almost like a ginger ale color. It just evens out the liquor. So whenever I make my drinks, like a standard rum and coke, I layer it. I do soda, liquor, soda, and then I stir it because you don't want all the alcohol taste up front, and you don't want to put it in first. You don't want all the alcohol taste at the end. You want a consistent flavor throughout the drink, and that's what's important to make it make it good. People don't want to. It's hard because like a lot of people, young people, like to go to bars and they pay like $8 to $10 for a mixed drink, but the bartender half kills them with one drink. I don't roll that way. I prefer the right way, how the drink's supposed to be made. So these are the ways these two drinks are supposed to be made. Now, the difference in taste on this one now, the way it is, it'll have more of a consistency to it. It will not be a lot of black rum in the beginning, that molasses, that vanilla, and then the ginger beer at the end of the taste. This should have a mixed palate the entire way. Which it does. I prefer it this way. It's a lot more refreshing of a drink. But like I said, the other way, the layered style, is the classic way to do it. Now, like I said, this is going to be a shorter show, so that's all I have for today. If you guys liked this style as well as the beer, I will still do the beer, but let me move the camera now that I'm done mixing the drinks. If you guys liked this style better, where I kind of talk about mixed drinks and stuff, maybe you're going to order more at a bar or bar etiquette, stuff like that. I'll do a separate show on top of the beer show. I'll do maybe one on Friday, one in the middle of the week or something like that. It all depends on like my schedule and everything like that, and what you guys like, because I want to do something that everyone can enjoy. And just like with my beer, we always talk about like what my credentials are in the service and what like in like the industry. So like I said, for the beer show, I took a beer class, became a beer manager, learned a lot about the industry, learned a lot about the business end and like the production end. Same with bartending. I took a mixology course in college. It was basically like bartending 101, but you learned more about the spirits and like how they're made, where they come from, like what makes them unique, and how to make cult classic drinks. Like the Moscow Mule, Dark and Stormy, is a mint julep with whiskey, a sidecar, with different types of like cordials and spirits. So I can do a lot of that. I know. So I've never been a bartender, never been a professional bartender. I do it all on my own. My friends can tell you I used to bartend at parties for my friends when I was in college. I would do different styles of punches. I would do different types of mixed drinks. Later on, after I graduated, I did birthday shots for people. I would go online. I did layered shots. So if you guys want to see stuff like that, like definitely let me know. Definitely comment on the video. A La Noir. I'd have to look up what that is. I don't know what it is on the top of my head, but I will definitely check it out. And if you want to see it, the next show I'll look up what I need and I'll buy it. So until next time, guys, until next week, remember, next Friday, Brian's Beverage Corner will be brought to you at Hot Sauce. So you're going to have to go to the new channel to see the show. So until then, have a great day, everyone. Enjoy, and always remember to drink responsibly. Have a great day, guys.